Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new, latest, and greatest Mr. Informal podcast. This is the podcast 156. Again, I go by the name of Mr. Informal. I hope you are doing well today. Certainly, I hope you are healthy. And again, still being cautious, even though we are slowly but surely getting back to the way it used to be. So, please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. So certainly, summer's almost here, and again, I hope you are doing well today. It looks like a lot of people are wanting to go travel, as I predicted. I'm not really proud of that because I think it should have been pretty obvious or quite predictive that people wanted to go on vacation. They wanted to go out. And so these are the 4 topics for this podcast 156. There is actually quite a demand for Under Armour apparel, but it looks like they are restricting themselves. Not only that, since topic number 2, not only that, mask fashion is starting to disappear. I mean, we'll see. Number 3, runway shows are starting to get back, but is it going to be full of people? Hopefully. And last but not least is that on the tech world, especially if you are a content creator, getting a strike on your video, copyright strike, a sexual harassment strike, all kind of strikes is basically too easy nowadays. Like, there has to be something wrong with the algorithm, or just it looks like people are just abusing it. As usual, tech what it's supposed to do, but people abused it. And so those are the 4 topics for this Mr. Informal podcast 156, and let's go ahead and start the podcast. So topic number 1 from RetailDive.com. Under Armour restricts inventory despite high demand. Why would you do that? So Under Armour is tightening how it thinks about inventory. CEO and President Patrick Frisks said on company's earning call, the retailer said it was opting for this approach rather than trying to chase the demand and possibly spread itself thin. Fisk said that the goal is to ensure that the right products are at the right places, a strategy that Under Armour has stuck with despite high demand. The company's global e-commerce business was up 69% year over year. CFO Chief David Bergman said on the call, in Q1, this constrained inventory strategy resulted in 9% less inventory and higher margins. As executive anticipated increased freight expenses to continue, this becomes more important. Okay, so by managing how much inventory flows through its supply chain, Under Armour can better control how much product sits in its reserve, limit low demand products, and focus on getting items that are in demand, which obvious supply and demand. The strategy has involved consolidating vendors and cutting SKUs. Okay, so tight inventory management has translated into items selling faster and reducing returns, allowing for Under Armour to set prices that are more favorable compared to relying on proportional sales to move inventory, Bergman said. Well, it's pretty obvious that Under Armour was badly managed from the inside, because it doesn't take a genius or anyone that is absolutely with a high IQ to figure this out. Number 1, you just have to have the right product, and then number 2, when you order, you just have to have the right quantity based on your units. Stop overestimating your items. Not only that, your operational cost is much lower nowadays because it could be closed or you shut down a lot of your stores, and suddenly you have fired people or laid off people. So again, your operational costs went down. So it looks like they may be on the right track to actually being relevant again, because Under Armour is only relevant due to Stephen Curry, one of the best shooters in basketball currently, should say past, present, and future, certainly. And so, and this is a good idea. Hopefully Under Armour is going to get some gain some market shares over Nike and Adidas because they've been lagging way behind. It's pretty obvious that they are badly managed, and certainly they have bad designs, and they're always late when it comes to the trend. There was a time when they were actually ahead of the trend, but now they are not. And so seeing them actually manage their inventory is pretty good. It's a 9% decrease in inventory, which is again pretty good. But again, this is something they really have to watch closely, because as the article said, that the freight increase is expected due to transportation logistic challenges. So they can't just rely on having the right amount of quantity in their inventory. They may have to add more to their quantity. That way, if they get their items, they don't have to wait, they don't have to reorder as much, because they have a bit of reserve in case there's a problem with transportation and logistics challenges or shipping challenges. It could be delay, it could be, well, that is basically it could be delayed. And this is pretty good, and hopefully they actually learn from this. And I am curious as to what they will do when the United States becomes fully open. Are they gonna order more units, or will they order enough based on their data? I mean, no one really knows. I mean, even Nike doesn't know. Even I don't know what's gonna happen. But certainly, hopefully they are in the right track, but they just have to have enough quantity to please the consumers. So I'm sure you've heard it in the news. CDC is telling you, me, and everyone else, if you have been vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask outside. Well, a lot of states are disputing that, but we'll talk about topic number 2, which is mask fashion. Is it almost over? Is the trend of wearing a mask almost over? And I actually think by the end of 2021, yeah, it's probably done. The only time that it will come back is if you get sick with a regular flu, or you're going to work sick and you gotta wear a mask. Certainly you gotta cut that stuff out. You just need to stay home. And I cannot stress this enough. If you are feeling sick, just stay home, people. So the mask fashion, so I'm sure you've seen it in everywhere. Retailer, brands, 7-Eleven, everyone's making their own mask, printed mask, designers mask, whatever. And so yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's still not over, but mask fashion is certainly going to end in terms of majority of the consumers, or the majority of the people around the world wearing it. I think people will only wear it if they are actually sick. I think that wearing a mask is not natural. It's pretty obvious when you wear it. Humans were not made to wear mask, a helmet, or any type of armor or shield. It just isn't. And we were basically made to be comfortable, very ergonomic, and wearing a mask is not really quite ergonomic because it blocks our breathing. And so all these designer masks, printed design mask, or technical design mask, it's all gonna be gone. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's still gonna be there. These brands are still gonna make them, but not as many as before, or not as many during the pandemic that we are in right now. It will still be there because, hey, it's another way for them to make money. Not only that, people get sick all the time, not just the China virus, but the regular flu, cold, or any type of sometimes sickness that it could be contagious. You can put filters on it, and so you just gotta wear a mask. And I think it's becoming accepted that it's not like in Asia, where in Asia, if you wear a surgical mask, people know you're sick. But I think here in America, it's starting to become too common where, okay, you got a mask, well, you're probably sick, so and so, so whatever. So this whole mask fashion is certainly going to disappear slowly at the end of 2021. And I'll be honest with you, I think people will be really, really happy not wearing a mask because it's just not ergonomic and it is just not natural, especially when you are in a social scene. So they are still going to be made, not as many as before. You might see one or two in your favorite boutiques or stores, but for the most part, it's not something that you can start seeing everywhere. So sports are starting to let people watch inside the arena, stadium, a coliseum, whatever you want to call the sport venue. Certainly bars are coming in. So runway shows are starting to come back. Not entirely sure if they are going to have a lot of people coming in. Most likely it's probably going to be 50% capacity, which is okay. And people are excited to go back to the runway fashion shows, and certainly people are excited, especially the street photographers out there are excited to take pictures of people going to the runway shows or fashion shows. And you're gonna start to see more media. We're gonna see street fashion, street styles, high-end street styles, whatever you want to call it. People are going to be back taking pictures again, especially those who do it professionally, because they are excited to make money and certainly excited to go back out there, especially with probably with the new gear that they have. They may have a new or maybe an old gear or current gear that they have, but certainly they want to be out there. So we're going to start to see definitely me going to see more, going to have more fashion reviews. I love fashion and runway reviews, so I'm gonna do that more often now that as things are starting to get back. And it's going to be interesting. Not only that, with runway shows you're gonna see celebrities being there now too. So celebrities, I'm sure they want to go back to runway shows, and runway shows are gonna be extravagant as before. I'm sure they probably have a bigger budget too, because they did not do runway shows in the year 2020, and so they probably going to have a bigger budget. I'm sure some brand is going to go all out because they probably miss, and certainly the designers are starting to feel good because they actually get to show their designs to actual people. You're going to hear claps, certainly you're going to hear applause, and just having the people around you being there is a great feeling. Again, it's that social scene that people get high of. It's just one of those that when you go to a venue like the fashion show, that you get inspirations, that you can see different types of people, different kind of fashion, different kind of styles. It's quite exciting. People do get high off of that. I mean, me, I definitely get high off of that. It's quite exciting, and it's just one of those places that you got to be at, especially if it's a high-end runway shows. I love high-end runway shows, especially couture, because with couture you get to see technical designs. You get to see new and unique type of design. It's not just everyday apparel or ready to wear. They call it RTW. It's not just RTW runway shows. So it is quite exciting to see runway shows starting to get back up again. Now, and most likely we'll see shows fall and winter 2021, or you can even say spring summer 2022. I cannot believe I'm already talking about 2022. That is not good. But certainly people can't wait to go back to runway shows, and so runway shows is probably going to be back at 50% capacity. Hopefully it could be full, but then again, we always got to stay cautious. So last topic, fourth topic, is video strikes. What I mean by that is, I'm sure you've seen on Twitch, YouTube, any content type creator websites. You get copyright strikes, you get music strikes, you get sexual harassment strike or sexual violence strike, whatever, plagiarism strike. It's easy nowadays to just get a strike. It's really easy. Not only that, if you just put like 3 seconds of a music, you get some type of strike. Like, we can't even play music nowadays without getting something, without somebody complaining, without somebody giving us a permanent ban, a suspension, whatever. The biggest example of this is Twitch. Twitch strikes is just, you can't defend yourself. You're basically guilty even though it's not your fault, or you can't even dispute it. You can't even at least argue with them about certain things. It's basically, you know what, you're guilty, we're going to delete the video. That's it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. With YouTube, yeah, at least you can dispute it, but damn, YouTube's team is always siding with the person who gave you that strike. It's like, damn, I only put 1 second of a music or 1 second of a video and I get a strike? Or even just a picture. It's like, damn, I can't even do that. Everywhere somebody is getting a strike, even though you may have a different beliefs, especially political beliefs. I mean, people sending these strikes. Do people not accept different sides nowadays? Should we only have one side of a quarter or one side of a coin? Is that what we only have? Let's say we got one side is the ego and the other side is just blank, nothing. Is that what we want? I mean, in every type of story, there's always two sides of the story. It could be black or white, whatever. I mean, we can't always, give people strikes just because we may not like it or our music is with them. The music that they're playing, it means that they like your music. What's wrong with that? Are you saying that they're making money off your music? Well, shit, you're already making money off of the music, of your own music. Not only that, when people hear your music, they want to know, hey, whose song is that? And now your music spreads. Same thing with videos, same thing with pictures, whatever. It goes on and on. It's a domino effect. But somebody wants to make money off of your hard work, even though they didn't do the hard work. It's like everyone nowadays is getting a strike for no reason, and these platforms don't even want to defend you, even though you're the one who actually made the platform popular. Your content made the platform popular, but they don't want to admit that. And so, I think it's getting ridiculous to the point where anything that you do in videos is that somebody will always hate it, and you ignore them, but as usual, you're gonna get a strike. So it's a lose-lose situation, and if you have a content, especially if you do filming, you have to be careful. But if you do a podcast, that's easy because you don't have to put much music, or you don't have to put a lot of copyrighted stuff. Because a podcast is easy, you just talk. You don't need music for that. But again, someone will always give you a strike, whether it be your political beliefs, whether you swore in the video, whatever. It's getting ridiculous nowadays, and hopefully, us people, the normal people, will revolt about this and will complain until they actually make things right. And so that basically concludes this podcast 156, Mr. Informal 156. Again, I go by the name of Mr. Informal. I hope you enjoy listening to me from beginning to end. And I hope I gave you some insights. I hope I made you learn something. And again, I'm just glad that you listened to me from beginning to end. And then please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal. And then check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. And please, again, be cautious, be safe, always stay healthy. We are almost there. Slowly but surely, we will get back to the way it used to be. And so I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.